I told you 4% of your market is going to sell, and right now they don't have an agent? Today, we want to unpack how Valerie Upham, San Diego, California, with Compass, generated over $475,000 in gross commission income on a campaign she launched 18 months ago, which took her 90 days to get going. Valerie, I'm so excited to have you on the show. You were just with me in Portland. You showed up randomly. I'm like, will you get on stage and talk about what it is you're doing with the silent generation? So, hey, welcome to the show, my dear.
Thank you. Good morning. It's great to be here.
Yes. So why don't you share with the listener the
Mhm.
silent generation? It's 4% of Americans right now. I don't know the Canadian number. I would assume it would be similar and probably pretty close for all my friends in Europe and Australia that are listening. If it's 4% and you're in San Diego and there's 3 million people in San Diego, we're talking about 80 to 100,000 people that you're marketing to. I want to understand your mindset, your marketing, and your event strategy and how you've been able to generate this much GCI. So let's just start first with help the person understand, like, what's your mindset around working with the silent generation?
Sure. So I grew up with like five sets of grandparents due to divorces. So
Got it.
older adults have always had a special place in my heart. I went to a nursing home when I was like between like 11 years old just to entertain them with a
Yes.
friend. So I've always had this thing for working with like grandparents. And
Yes.
then my parents, as I was watching them age, I was in my 30s, and my mother and father were both, 33 years older than me. And I was watching them and I realized like something's changing. And I was helping clients that had passed. I was helping their families. I saw people with trust. I knew that my parents didn't have those documents in place. So I approached my mom and I said, Mom, it's really important that you have your power of attorney and all of these documents, right? And get it taken care of. And so, first off, just by doing real estate and helping people, I learned about all these different issues that people were dealing with. Then, as watching my parents age, I wanted to help them, right? And my parents didn't, neither of them had any much money, right? So I was really concerned as the adult child, what's going to happen to them? Am I going to be responsible? Are my siblings going to be responsible for them? It was a burden that was weighing on me. And so not only did I want to find the answers for myself, as I found these answers, I wanted to help other people so that they wouldn't have to go through the same struggles.
Yes. Yes.
So that's my mindset.
You know what I love about that? We always talk about like businesses solving problems. And sometimes you probably see me do this and someone will be mad, but in the comments really fast, um, are you working super seniors? Yes or no? Are you working older boomers? Yes or no? Put it in the comments. Just give us some, some context. I say to people all the time, business is just solving problems. If you can identify a problem, then you can create a solution for that and you can build an entire business around it. So your mindset sounds like more of a heart set to me.
Mhm.
You just don't want to see people make the same mistake. How have you turned that into a marketing campaign? Maybe talk to us about, what works and what doesn't before we get to the events, because
Mhm.
clearly that's your secret sauce. Hey, I know I'm interrupting the show, but check this out. When I built my business back in 2004, I was very clear. Whoever gives away the most high value content for free is going to win the game. And I think it's one of the big reasons why my company and my 193 coaches have been named the number one coaching and training company in real estate for 12 years going. But my question is, like, we do all this stuff on content and, video, podcast. But have you ever been to tomferry.com/tools? tomferry.com/tools, TOOLS. If you've never been, you should check that out today because there is so many playbooks, systems, strategies, marketing, hacks, tactics from top agents, from coaches. There's so much there. If you thought the podcast is good, tomferry.com/tools. Check it out and then send me a DM on your favorite social channel and let me know what you think. Hey, I'm interrupting my own show with a little PSA. What are you doing August 3rd through the 5th? Well, it's going to be my 23rd, maybe my 24th. I should probably know that. annual Success Summit, where thousands of the best agents from around the world gather for networking, idea exchange, and making strong commitments so September through December are better than they were the year before. So I'd love for you to write down those dates. And if you're interested, check out tomferry.com/success. That's tomferry.com/success to find out the best ticket rate, because I can't wait to see you face to face in August. Do not miss this. Mark your calendars, get it in there, and I'll see you at the summit. Now back to the show.
Yeah. So for me, it's a matter of so you've always talked at all of your events, like solve a problem. The bigger the problem, the more money you're going to make, right? Yep. So there's that in the back of my head as well. So I've been trying to figure out what are the biggest problems that this generation is dealing with. And in figuring that out, there's different avenues that a person can take to solve their problems. So you can work with senior communities where people are moving into assisted living, memory care, and you can go that route and build those relationships, which I have done in the past. And I've put on presentations or seminars at the senior communities. What I've learned from that is that they send out the mailing list. They procure the audience, which is fabulous when you're getting started, because I didn't have the money at the time to spend on marketing and to target this, to serve this clientele. But then what I learned from doing the workshops, the senior communities, is I didn't have control over the data. I didn't have their contacts. So I wasn't able to help as many people as I wanted. So then I wanted to take control of that situation, and I started doing my own marketing. So when you're marketing to this audience, there's the younger boomers, there's the older boomers, and there's the silent generation. And for me, my heart is for the people who are 80 and older. Yeah. And so I'm working with the adult children because they're often involved, and I'm working with the seniors. And so through that combination, I'm getting the word out, and everybody knows that that's where my heart is, and that's who I want to serve. So I now have friends because I've niched down. And people, when I was a real estate agent, I've been a realtor 22 years, I get referrals from friends. But now I'm finding, because this is my niche and I've made it known, more of my friends are now referring their friends to me because they associate me with one particular need. And I'm actually getting more business instead of less business by niching down. And initially, I was really nervous by going all in with one audience, that I would alienate everyone else and they would think I couldn't help them. But it's actually the reverse effect.
Yes. So let's unpack that. If I hear you correctly, you're not necessarily just marketing to the 4%. You're actually marketing to the biggest demographic of sellers today, which is the early boomers and the more mature boomers. And you said to me once, the sandwich generation.
Yes.
So are you marketing to both groups? Are you
marketing
both? So help us understand the marketing side, because it sounds like it's just to the boomers who are maybe the decision makers for their silent generation parents.
Mm-hmm. So actually, I am marketing to both, but in different ways. So I'm launching a podcast called the Aging Parent Podcast in about a month. So I'm really excited about that. Yep. And I'm focusing on issues that will affect our elders, but the adult children are the ones managing their issues. And so the seniors can find my podcast and they'll gain some knowledge as well, talking about getting your healthcare, advanced healthcare directive in place, but also memory care and scams. Senior scams are up. So I'm focusing on issues that both audiences care about. My marketing is to print marketing in the community newsletters and postcards, EDDM. That is targeting just downsizing. So that is targeting, I hate the word targeting, focusing on the seniors, right? And their issues. So I'm mostly focusing on, if you focus on the issues that they're dealing with, that's how your audience will find you.
So, all right. So issues-based marketing, which is like
solving their issues. Yeah.
The solution, right?
Mm-hmm.
How do you, did you work with your title exec to figure out, who are all the people living in homes that maybe they bought in the 70s or 80s, like targeting, but how are you organizing the list to market to, so someone listening can go, oh, I can do that, and at least look at the data to decide, should they go after it?
Yeah. So for the seller seminars that I've been putting on for a year and a half, I got a list of 2-story homes, people that have lived there over 30 years. The homes, the neighborhood that I focus on is the homes were already built in the late 60s and 70s. So
Yeah.
just by that alone, that's my audience. If you think about an average person buying when they were 30, now they're 60 or up, right? And it's if they've paid off their mortgage, they've lived there a while, they're probably older. So that's a list of in my 5,300 detached home farm, 400 of those came up. But I already have been farming for 6 years, so people know me here. I extended into a new farm of Carmel Valley, and they don't know me as well. And so with both farms, I'm still having more people from University City show up to the events than Carmel Valley. So trust is definitely a factor. And then I'm also advertising online, Facebook, Insta, LinkedIn events, Google business profile events, Nextdoor. So I'm touching every place I can online. And the people that show up from online registrations, they're less committed. There's less likely to show up versus people who already know me. So that's a big factor.
So Jimmy Mackin came up with this crazy campaign years ago,
Mm-hmm.
and for my friend that's listening, the line is, if you've ever said
Mm-hmm.
fill in the problem that they might experience, it might be time to downsize. So he
Mm-hmm.
has, 20 of these different, if you've ever said most of these rooms just sit empty these days, it might be time to
Yes.
downsize. If you've
Mm-hmm.
ever said we're too far away from the grandkids, it might be time to make a move.
Mm-hmm.
What are you finding from a direct mail standpoint that is resonating with this audience? What's working? What's like do they care about just listed, just sold cards?
Well, just sold. It's good to show your evidence of success, but no, they don't care about just sold.
Yeah.
I think it's still good to show stats and show that you know the market and your professionalism. So that has to be sprinkled in there. But primarily my events. I mean, I'm getting ready to do a shredding event, which is, these people, they a lot of times still have checkbook registrations from the 70s in their storage. So
Yeah.
these shredding events are huge to help this audience. Um, I think my messaging really is around, showing before and after photos because I've helped so many people get more equity out of their home by helping them update it and get rid of the shag carpet. I still see shag carpet. I'm sure a lot of us do. And my goal is to help get them more equity out of the house because that's going to pay for their care or it's going to help them leave a legacy to their children, which is what they all care about. So I focus on showing them strategies to get more money. And it's also important that they understand that they can sell the home as is because a lot of older adults think that I can just sell it as is. And they can, but what they don't understand is they're helping the buyer to get a better deal. They're putting less money in their pocket if they're choosing not to do some updates. And I think that they feel that the updates are going to be too much work, but that's what I do for them. I have this entire network of people, contractors that come in and I manage the whole process for them and then they benefit. And it's such a great feeling to know that you've helped somebody at that level.
I love it. I know a lot of people listening right now can really resonate. Like it's the heart side of
Mm-hmm.
this business. And there's going to be people out there that's just not their jam, right?
Right.
But for many of us, right, like where you've got a giant capacity to care, it is a longer sales cycle, is my guess. But you're also having to influence, the boomers. So
Mhm.
take me back for a minute to I'm a boomer. My parents are in their
We're
80s.
Gen X.
Right. Yeah, thank you. That's right. We're Gen X. I said it
Come
quickly.
on.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes, 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 yes. Oh my goodness. All right. So we're Xers. Our parents are boomers. What are you finding is the right message for me, for you, that would make me go, I need to call that gal and figure out, what I need to do with my parents? Because, hey, maybe one just passed, or they're just getting
Mhm.
older, or they're dealing with dementia, or, all these issues that arise. What
Mhm.
what's resonating right now?
Yeah, I don't think going right for the punchline of, hey, you want to sell your house, call me,
No,
works. You
no.
need to meet them earlier in the process. Mom's starting to show signs of dementia, and the kids are getting worried. Um, they're starting to think about downsizing. A lot of searches online are, senior living and memory care and downsizing. And when is it the right time to have a conversation with my parents about senior living? So
Right.
that's where these people are living, right? And so you have to meet them where they are. And by doing that and having those earlier conversations, networking and being out with other caregiver providers, then you're seen in this space as somebody who can help. And you can't be attached to the results, right? It's really important when I speak with people that they understand that they're not pressured to sell. Because a lot of people think, oh, well, if I meet with a realtor, I'm going to have to sell my house. And you have to make it very clear that you're there to answer questions and it's a safe space. And by doing that, when it's time to make the decision, they're going to hire you, and you're not at a listing appointment fighting against, you're up against, three or four other agents. And so
Yes.
that's an important distinguish. Yeah.
I love that. And I think it plays nicely with, I want to transition into events and also just as I'm taking pages of notes here, I think what is fantastic is doing easy, memorable events that are important to them that just gets you face to face with people. That's the long game, right? Hey, we're gonna do a
Yeah.
threading event. We're gonna do I don't know, sell all your goods on your front lawn, and everybody's gonna be, it's all managed by Valerie. Like these little things before we get to the events, which is, really about like what do you need to do? What do you need to know? What are the mistakes to avoid? But first, as we film this morning, Jason and I were talking about um, ChatGPT now
Mhm.
doing ads,
Yes.
and for someone like yourself, there is going to be a large percentage of people that are going to get on ChatGPT, Perplexity, whatever it may be. But let's do
Mhm.
Chat because it's their new ad platform that they're going to be searching for. Hey, what do I do with my parents that are getting older that we want to do A, B, and C, right?
Mhm.
Blogging is going to be the way that you're going to show up. And I know
Yeah.
we've talked about that. What are your thoughts about ChatGPT and ads specifically to attract that person, you and I, who are thinking about
Yeah.
helping our parents?
Sure. So I saw your message this morning with Jason. I was on, and I immediately went to chat, searched it. I
Yep.
just hired Go Fly Dragon, and
Oh,
so I'm working with John Mackin, and we're
yep.
working on strategies to get the right message out. I'm also doing so chat. So yes, I think that's extremely important. It used to be that people would search who's the best agent in San Diego.
Right.
Now they're sharing their entire story. They're talking into their phone,
Yes.
and I think that's really important way to be found. I'm also doing a website. I just hired a company and they're designing it, and we've got the branding and the colors, and I want to make sure it comes from a place of trust, right? The colors. So I think about every little detail and how I can help this audience and how I can resonate with them.
Yes. Yeah.
So
Send
go
me
ahead.
that stuff before you go live because I've got a lot of insight on that. Just the stories, the before and afters, the validation, more about what Xers are saying about their parents and what those parents are saying about you. I think that's
Mhm.
going to be amazing.
Yeah, I just met with a family yesterday, a mother, she's 90 years old. She's so smart and just with it and very stubborn. That generation is very stubborn.
Yeah.
And her daughter has just been breaking her back, helping her and her husband. And the it was you sit there with them for 2 hours. You don't go in. I one time I went to a senior's home,
Yeah.
and I brought another agent in because it was a market I wasn't in, and this was years ago. And he came in, he's like wanted to just get right down to business and sign the contract and in and out. And I finally said to him, I'm like, you know what? I've got this. And so he left. And I
Yeah.
just sat with her and built rapport and listened to her stories. This 90-year-old woman, I was so excited when I first met her, when I found out she was 90, because she was born in 1936.
Yeah.
And so my parents were born in 37.
Yeah.
And I was like, you were around. What was it like as a child before World War II? So there's a lot of joy that comes from serving this audience. I know I digress, but it's, I digress.
Yeah. So let's talk about events. I mean, by the numbers, $267,000 generated from events.
Mhm.
In the comments, have you done events before? I'm not talking open houses. I'm talking about educational events, community events. But this one's really specific around education. Have you done it in the comments below? Let us know. So What was the strategy when you first did it? Were you right with your messaging or did you have to adjust like many?
Mhm.
Help us just understand the whole event strategy.
Yeah. So lately I've been focusing on seller seminars. That's been the key word. Jay D'Alessandro out in Virginia was the original godfather of seller seminars. So thank you to him. And, Lydia Gable in Los Angeles was really integral in helping me get my message clear
Yep.
and organized. I am so glad that I decided to niche down. Like I said, I was scared of going wide. I'm sorry, of not going wide and trying to capture everybody. But it just took a short while to get it going. My fears were that if I did an event, people wouldn't show up. Or
Mhm.
what if only one person showed up? How would that make me look? Well, I
Yeah.
soon got over that because initially I partnered with an elder law attorney, and then
Mhm.
she and I went in and we presented, and I on my marketing it said tax implications and get your will and trust in order. And people, so I had a larger crowd when I partnered with an attorney.
Yes. Good insight. Yeah.
What I found out though was that by doing that, people came for the attorney. They weren't coming because they had real estate to sell. So I did get them earlier in the process, but then the follow up kind of fell flat because they were years away, or maybe not even interested in selling. They just wanted to get their trust and will in place.
Yeah.
So, and then also the attorney's schedule held me back from going forward. I just wanted to schedule them twice a month whenever it was convenient for me. So I did it with a couple of attorneys. I finally dropped and just went by myself. I had less people, and I had sometimes I have two people show up. But
Mhm.
you know what? It's like a listing appointment. It's personal, it's one on one. I don't apologize that there's less people there. And I also did a webinar and two people showed up. Both of them were off screen and I got a listing out of it. So it doesn't matter if there's few people. It matters that who you're impacting, and you can still you can still get real estate sales from that.
I think you just answered the fear that almost everybody has around events. What if I
Mhm.
do this event and no one shows up? What if I do this event and the room is 15 people and two people show
Mhm.
up? You deliver to the two people. Those two people want to learn what it is you're
Mhm.
offering.
Yes.
So back up. How do you get people to show? Like what are the do you run Facebook ads, LinkedIn? Do you
Yeah.
do direct mail? What seems to be working the most to get them to actually show up?
Yes to all of that. So I have a marketing team, and so we have this basically a system in place. So LinkedIn events. So the events are free places to advertise. Okay. But then I also do Facebook ads. I found that the static ads with like a postcard or an image do the best. I
Good.
still try to create video and put myself out there and personalize it. That doesn't, for some reason, the videos aren't doing it. I don't know if it's me or the message, so I'll keep trying
Yep.
and just do a lot of A/B testing. Next door is important, but like I said, social isn't getting as many people in. Oh, and Eventbrite. Eventbrite is
Good.
huge.
Good.
Yes.
So direct mail, Eventbrite, LinkedIn,
Mhm.
Facebook. Do you email your database?
I do. So that goes to everybody. I also paid money on Fiverr and got addresses and emails from 20,000. So I have 30,000 people in my mailing. I'm sorry, email in my
Okay.
email and follow up boss. So yes, the message is definitely going out. And I decided that, so I was doing two seller seminars a month. And I decided, because it was just a thing for me, that I didn't want to just keep pushing seller seminar, seller seminar. So that's why I created the podcast. And so
Yes.
I've been doing live audience podcast. So I figure I'm already filming, I'm going to be on video, got the audio for podcast. Why not bring in the community? And so people come in and they sit in the audience, they watch me film the podcast, and at the end, they can ask questions. It's a lot more work and it costs more because I can't batch record podcasts, or I'm sorry, Zoom and whatnot, podcast. And so I'm not going to do it as often because I want to get more podcasts produced. But I think that's a great way to give back to the community. And they don't always see you as selling, and they see you from an educational perspective.
So from the attorneys, which I still actually think was a really good idea. I
Yes.
I mean, and obviously you get a bigger crowd, you get in front of them. It's one step closer to building that trust, that
Mhm.
rapport, that relationship that, she's the one. And so
Yes.
even though you found it better when you got
Mhm.
rid of them because you could do it more often, I
Yeah.
like the blend of the two just by two
Yeah.
reasons.
So what I used to do is I met with an in-home care. So there was an in-home care specialist and an elder law attorney, and the three of us would go to different senior communities and to the community centers, and we put on those events. And we
That's
would have larger crowds. And that when you do work with the senior community, they do send out all the mailings. So now, I mean, that was 15 years ago that I was doing that, 10, 15 years ago. Now I think it's time for me to go back and start doing that again. Also, I do work with a lot of senior specialists, elder law attorneys, and estate and probate attorneys because they refer to you. And even if one attorney refers one client to you a year, and then you have relationship with five of them, that's five different homes that you get to represent and families.
Yes. So
Mm-hmm.
Paige, who is, I know, a friend of
Yes.
yours, she's been on my pod, longtime friend and client, does such a great job with that as well. So you can collaborate. And
Mm-hmm.
I think that the thing that I'm getting with you, Valerie, which I respect immensely, is you got to kind of try everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can't just say, I'm only going to do direct mail or I'm only going to do Facebook. You got to go where the people are, right?
Yeah.
Fish where the fish are. But I was looking at the math and I'm saying, okay, so if you've done $267,000 in events,
Mm-hmm.
your let's say your average commission's roughly 30 grand on a million two average sales price, kind of keep it's like 9 transactions. Some
Mm-hmm.
people might say, I don't know if that's worth it. Like that feels like maybe a lot of work. How many people have you met with at these events that are now in your funnel,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just a matter of time that you're going to
Yeah.
business? Like maybe help the listener understand that, like,
Yeah.
how many events, how many people, how many are in the funnel now, and what do you think the future is for you from this activity?
Well, I have numerous people in the funnel, and we continue to email to them, and 55% of sellers are the younger and the older boomers, right? So I'm helping the senior. And when I refer to senior, I refer to the 80 plus, right? And so I'm helping their parents. Then now they trust me. And as this population ages, then I'm going to be there to help them. So the amount of people that I can serve is endless. And that's really exciting. How many events have I done? So in a year and a half, so 18 months. So let's just say 18 events to have a GCI of 267. And I mean, that's fabulous. And I've double-ended the house sale. Um, and then you get a buyer, you get, additional buyers at the open houses. I have my team
Yep.
hold that listings open. I'm helping my contractors get business. So anytime I need something, they'll jump and they help me, and we start the following week and they get the project done for me, where other contractors are 4 months out. So it's a lot of people that I'm impacting, not only myself.
Yes.
Hmm.
I think that's a great holistic way to look at it. And for all my friends out there, like if you could do 18 open houses and make $267,000, you would do it in 2 seconds.
Sure.
So, and again,
And it's easy because
it's
I have a system. I order my food from, you serve food. That's really important. You find one place to order it from so that you don't have to make the same decision every single time. And then you just have the system. I have the same papers. I do change the titles because I'm trying to test what titles work in marketing. And you're supposed to be specific in marketing, but I've actually found that my title that works the most is everything you need to know about selling your home.
yes.
That's brought in the most people. And then going back to working with other professionals, you can have these affiliate partnerships. I reached out. I met this person who became my financial planner. He now is my biggest referrer, and he trusts me. He referred me to a woman that I'm going to meet with next month when I get back from Europe, and she's nervous, and people are worried about what their house looks like. So reassuring them that, trust me, we've seen it all, and how you can help them. I think that is also a message that's important, is it's okay, to let us in early. We're not going to push you to sell. So kind of going back to that. And lastly, the affiliate partnerships, there's a whole wheel of people who serve seniors. So senior move management companies, There's in-home care, there's physical therapists, there's occupational therapists, there's the Medicare benefits. Aid and attendance benefit for our veterans is something that a lot of people don't know about. And there's an application that specialists will help them complete. So having the relationships with them, because the aid and attendance benefit is for when they go into skilled nursing. And so being at the place where people are making those decisions to move out of their home, most people want to age in place. They don't want to move into a senior living situation. But the reality is emergencies happen. And
Right.
so you want to be there when they need you.
Valerie, you have dug so deep into this niche. If someone is listening right now, they're not watching us on YouTube where they kind of see your heart and see your face.
Yeah.
Um, I've been telling, I mean, at every darn event I've done since we were together last in Portland, I was like, you got to follow this gal on Instagram. What's your Instagram handle if people want to learn more? Because you're exposing a lot of these insights on that channel as well.
Yes. So my DM me at Valerie Upham on Instagram, just straight Valerie Upham. And then my podcast, when it comes out, the Aging Parent Podcast is going to be huge. I would love for you to follow and watch there.
Outstanding. All right. So closing thoughts for our friend who's now thinking about, and I love the fact that you said repeatedly, I was always nervous to go niche-y because you think you're going to lose all this opportunity, but you don't. You don't. You just become an expert at this and you can sell houses to everybody. So just kind of closing thoughts for my friend that's listening, that's now thinking about maybe taking this on as a strategy.
Yeah. Don't do it if you're not passionate about it.
Mic drop.
This,
Yeah.
these families, they need you.
Yes.
And the other thing is, a lot of sales, you might be able to double end, or you might be able to help somebody sell and then buy. The audience that I'm serving often will move to senior living or they've passed. So there isn't a second transaction, right?
Yeah.
And you have to have joy in it to be able to, and slow down. But it doesn't, the time that I spend with them building the rapport goes so far and actually makes the transaction easier.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. I love it. And I love you, my dear. Thank you so much
Mm-hmm.
for jumping on early and doing this podcast with me. I hope everybody out there, listens to her insight on you got to love it. And if you don't love it, it's not right for you. And that's okay. But if you do love it and you can relate as Valerie does, and I certainly can with, in-laws and my own parents, there's a massive need out there. And it's a big percentage of the population between the younger boomers, the older boomers, and now the super seniors. So let's get out there and help them. All right.
And I'm excited, Tom, by the way. You and I are going to do an interview about your family and your parents as they're getting older. So that'll be a coming soon podcast.
All right. I think I just got invited to be on the podcast. All right. Here we go. All right. So thank you so much for listening. Share this with a buddy that you think this would resonate with. Leave a comment. As always, we appreciate that. And Valerie, I appreciate you. All right. I'll see you all on the next show.
Okay. Thank you.